Did you know that James Dean only ever made 3 movies before his death in a car accident in 1955? Did you also know that after his death, his image rights have been handled by Mark Rossler at CMG Worldwide?
Oh boy, a kid was killed tonight.
His memory, his image, his values still resonate with young people around the world struggling to understand themselves as teenagers, and the rebel personality of James Dean. So it's always been important for the family that future generations remember who James Dean was.
Managing the business affairs of dead celebrities may sound unusual, but it means that their estates get royalties from any paraphernalia that features their faces. And these days, that doesn't just mean mugs.
We essentially want to bring James Dean back so that he is an option for storytellers and for content creators to use him for traditional film, virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, spatial computing, gaming, music, branded content.
And the first James Dean project will see a virtual version of this screen icon co-star in a Vietnam War film called Finding Jack.
So our intention is to put together a 3D virtual James Dean using all of the historical data, images, and pictures and video that we've had over the course of the last 64 years.
We've watched motion and facial capture technology mature over the last 15 years or so, and it's now completely possible to capture an actor's performance and map their movements and expressions onto a different digital being. It's created monsters. It's made Robert De Niro and Will Smith young again. And it's even allowed a film's production to continue after its star's untimely death. But the James Dean project takes this idea to a different level, using a celebrity's likeness not because the story demands it, but because some dead celebrities are bankable.
It's not like you're creating a brand new virtual being from scratch where you have to spend ample amount of capital to create the awareness for him. People know James Dean. He's an icon.
But this is much more than just blending old existing footage into new scenes. This needs to be a completely flexible, 3D, photorealistic, fully animatable, believable version of a person that can act in new scenes and deliver new dialogue. And we humans might accept CGI monsters, but we're biologically wired to spot any hint of a fake human. They just look wrong, they break the realism, and they end up firmly in what's known as the uncanny valley.
As I've learned about visual effects, a big part of creating that illusion is what you're asking it to do and how much time you're giving your artist to refine the work. Oftentimes it's rushed, oftentimes it's being asked to do things that the technology doesn't deliver well.
Previous attempts at CGI actors have been mixed, and I wonder whether there's a certain quality threshold that you or James Dean's estate, for example, has to insist on.
Our expectations are very high. So the virtual assets that we create will evolve over time. This isn't a one-time, and it's perfect. It's going to evolve. So our James Dean that we will release for this movie may be a little different than the James Dean we release at a later date.
But of course there's more to an actor than just their face. That's just one part of the entire performance package.
If you're going to pick an actor and put them into something new, you have to find some reference for them. You either get another actor to do it, then how much is it then their performance rather than the actor you're recreating? Or do you try and just take stuff from things that they've already done, but then it's not original? So it's a bit of a minefield, I think.
And unsurprisingly, some actors have themselves expressed their annoyance.
I don't think this is going to be replacing actors that are alive because they have talent that nobody can achieve unless you're physically alive to be able to make those adjustments on the fly. But I also think working with virtual stars and virtual beings does make it somewhat easier to release and market content in the future. Sometimes it is very easy to use a digital asset to promote what you're trying to get viewers to see versus hiring actors to promote content that costs additional capital.
So basically you said that living actors, human actors, are a bit of a pain, and you'd rather work with avatars.
To some extent. It's easy to work with deceased celebrities.